HOA cut down every tree on my land, now facing $3.2 million in environmental damages and fines. The morning sun barely broke through the haze when I stepped onto my property and froze. Where towering oaks and ancient pines once stood, there was nothing but stumps. My land, a 5-acre sanctuary I'd nurtured for a decade, was a graveyard of splintered wood. The air, once alive with birdsong, was silent, save for the distant hum of a chainsaw. At the center of the devastation stood Karen Whitmore, president of the HOA, her fur coat gleaming against the carnage, a smirk curling her lips as she barked orders at a crew of hired workers. "Keep cutting," she snapped. "I want every last one gone." My heart sank. This wasn't just my land, she declared war on nature itself. Karen had been a thorn in my side since I moved to Willow Creek. Her rules were ironclad. No unapproved mailboxes, no wildflower gardens, no unsightly birdhouses. My property, with its native trees and pollinator meadow, was her obsession. She called it unkempt, a blight on her vision of manicured lawns and sterile perfection. I'd fought her citations for years, but this was sabotage. She'd forged my signature on a permit, claiming I'd approved the removal of every tree to enhance property values. The truth hit like a gut punch. Karen had orchestrated this to force me into compliance or out of the neighborhood entirely. I wasn't alone in my outrage. My neighbor, Javier, a soft-spoken botanist who'd helped me plant those trees, was livid. "She's destroyed a carbon sink," he whispered, his hands trembling as he surveyed the damage. Some of those oaks were over a century old. Javier revealed a twist I hadn't seen coming. Karen hadn't just targeted my land. She'd been extorting other homeowners, threatening fines unless they paid her under-the-table consulting fees to avoid her wrath. Her HOA reign was a racket, and my trees were collateral damage in her power grab. But Javier had evidencia, a paper trail of emails and bank transfers proving her corruption. Armed with this, I rallied the neighborhood. We confronted Karen at the next HOA meeting, held in the community center's sterile conference room. The air crackled with tension as I presented photos of my ruined land, each image a dagger to her smug facade. "You had no right," I said, my voice steady despite the fury boiling inside. Karen scoffed, adjusting her diamond earrings. "Your jungle was a liability," she sneered. "I did the community a favor." Gasps rippled through the room. Then Javier stood, his quiet demeanor replaced by steel. He projected his evidence on the wall. Emails where Karen demanded thousands from homeowners, threatening to seize their properties. The room erupted. Karen's allies shifted uncomfortably, their loyalty crumbling. But Karen wasn't done. She doubled down, hiring a high-powered attorney to countersue me for defamation, claiming I'd fabricated the evidence to ruin her. The legal battle was brutal. She paraded experts who argued my trees were hazardous, while her lawyer painted me as an eco-fanatic out to destroy the HOA's standards. My savings dwindled and doubt crept in. Then came another twist. Emily, a reclusive retiree who rarely attended meetings, stepped forward. She'd secretly recorded Karen bragging about her scheme at a cocktail party, admitting she'd targeted my land to teach everyone a lesson. The audio was damning Karen's voice, dripping with venom, boasting about her untouchable status. Emily, once intimidated by Karen, had found her courage. "I couldn't stay silent anymore," she said, her eyes fierce. The courtroom showdown was electric. I presented the recording, Javier's documents, and an environmental report estimating the ecological damage at $3.20 million carbon sequestration lost, wildlife displaced, soil erosion imminent. The judge's face hardened as Karen's lawyer fumbled, her defense unraveling. Karen took the stand, her poise cracking. She rambled about community standards, but her words rang hollow against the evidence. The gallery, packed with neighbors she'd bullied, stared in silent judgment. When the gavel fell, the ruling was unanimous. Karen was liable for the damages, plus punitive fines for fraud and forgery. The total? $3.2 million. Her empire collapsed in real time. Karen's downfall was swift and merciless. Her assets were seized, her mansion foreclosed. The HOA board dissolved her presidency, and whispers of criminal charges followed. The woman who'd once strutted through Willow Creek like royalty was now a pariah, her name synonymous with greed. My land, though scarred, became a rallying point. Neighbors donated saplings, and Javier led a reforestation effort. Emily, newfound hero, organized a community fund to cover my legal fees. As we planted the first new tree, a young oak, I felt a flicker of hope. The land would heal, slowly, just as we had. The fight wasn't just about trees, it was about standing up to those who wield power without conscience. Karen's destruction was a wake-up call, proof that one person's greed can ripple outward, but so can one community's resolve. I learned that courage isn't loud. It's the quiet resolve of people like Javier and Emily, stepping up when it matters most. My land will take decades to recover, but every sapling we plant is a promise to fight for what's right. What do you think in one person's actions, good or bad, change a community? Share your thoughts. The truth matters.